clots include a family or personal history of blood clots, a recent hospitalization or surgery, pregnancy and cancer and its treatments. Symptoms of a blood clot in the legs or arms can include pain, swelling, and skin that is warm to the touch, red, or discolored. Symptoms of blood clots in the lungs include difficulty breathing, chest pain that worsens with a deep breath or a cough, coughing up blood, and a faster than normal or irregular heartbeat. Speak with a doctor about your risk for blood clots and seek medical attention if you have any symptoms. On average, one person in the United States dies of a blood clot every 6 minutes. Don't let that be you or someone you know. Stop the clot. Spread the word. Learn more at stoptheclot.org/spread the word.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. Joe.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lights, camera, action.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Do you know who I am?
Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio.
People know me.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Get past the hit me.
Hit me! 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Beautiful Thursday in paradise. Got a chance of storms later today, so keep an eye on the sky. Don't forget high-low 840 today. We're talking about that all day long. I don't think we got a winner yet. If you call, you're going to win something anyway, regardless. So make sure you call us 215-629. Again, that is 840. It's Thursday. Brian, we changed you up. You're usually Wednesday. Now you're in on a Thursday. Great to have you. How you doing, sir?
Doing well. Just got to adjust and figure out what day it is. But yeah, it'll be all right.
You're heading on the road.
Yeah, if you're wondering where it's raining, that'll be exactly where my car is at any point over the next 7 hours today. So, yeah, that cloud's going to follow from the beach to Huntsville, Alabama.
Huntsville, Alabama.
That's right.
My nephew's getting ready to move there.
It's a nice town.
Yeah, it is beautiful. And Tommy Santamont, the Bay County, probably the most famous Bay County athlete, coach, administrator ever, State Hall of Famer, not Bay County Hall of Famer, but State Hall of Famer. Tommy, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Kind of hard to get up. I almost didn't wake up this morning.
No,
I'm not used to that.
You're up hunting every day or doing something.
No, that's not. It'll be coming up, though.
All right. Randy, how you doing back there? You doing good?
Man, I'm finer than frog hair.
Well, listen, I got to tell a story about him this morning. I'm walking in. I'm listening to his phone call with his wife. He didn't know I was listening. I heard her say, I'm getting ready to trade you in. He's hobbling around. He can't even walk. You need to go see Chad Mitchell. You don't look right. You don't feel right. Go see Chad.
I went and saw Chad, and you got to pay 4 deductibles before you can get into the place. And it's like I ran out of money, and I said, well, I'll be back later. No,
I would say so, but Chad might be listening this morning.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, I know you're kidding. But, Tommy, great to have you. Did you have a good 4th of July?
I did. Louis,
did y'all go anywhere or just stay here?
We stay here. Yeah.
Okay. I thought y'all went to Pigeon Forge.
No, we're going Monday.
Okay.
This coming Monday. We'll be back to Thursday night.
No. You'll be back Wednesday night. I know you'll be back. You'll be here Thursday.
Yeah. We're going taking the grandkids up there, going tubing and going over to Dahlonega and going through a gold mine. Michael's in the gold. Brian met Michael. We came to the Corning card show story the other day. I didn't realize, Brian and I talked about it earlier, and I didn't even realize that's where he was talking about.
Yeah,
so,
good.
Michael bought some coins while he was there.
So he's going to be looking for gold now?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
He's into gold now.
I tell you what, we had our family reunion up there, and we had a great time. One of the best. And my buddy, Mike McKenzie, played football in Southern Mississippi. I was in his wedding. He was in mine. He went, and his family did the same thing up there, Pigeon Forge, and they said they had a blast. We kind of gave them an idea what we did. They kind of did the same thing, so it was great. The Dixie Stampede, if you've never been to that, is outstanding.
Yeah,
really
nice. True
American stuff, really good stuff. Mm-hmm. I want to get into this. It made me think of you today because I know how you like to hunt. We need to send you down to South Florida. We all know that the pythons are taking over down there. This just happened Monday. They caught the biggest record yet, the biggest one yet. Mm-hmm. You could, you know how huge giraffe standing straight up. This snake, if you held the head, you could hold the head over the head of the giraffe and it touched the ground. 19 foot python. Didn't say the weight, but it's a big one, no doubt about that.
150 pounds or so.
Yeah, I would say this one's maybe 250. I mean, it's huge. It's a big one. And they had, before, these same two guys, matter of fact, this guy was a Ohio State University student, was one of them, and another guy does this stuff. Well, they were down there. It happened, what's scary about it happened near Naples, Florida. And Naples, Florida is one of the richest per capita maybe in the country. per capita now, not the richest. That's not too far from Fort Myers, Lee County, right next to it, and homes everywhere. That's the problem. People don't understand this truly is a problem. They're eating into everything down the Everglades, and they're coming north. They're heading
Let
this
them
way.
come. Come on.
No, you don't want these big boys,
I got something
man.
for 'em.
These things can kill a human. This is some dangerous stuff here. So they do have a hunt all the time. They're trying to destroy as many as they can, and I hope they do. I really, truly hope they do. Usually I'm for the animal. This sucker here, we need to get rid of these things.
Well, I know they do it for TV. They catch them.
All right, the guys were on a show here.
I wouldn't
now
be
go down
catching
there and
them.
do that.
I'd have me a shotgun. I'd be shooting them.
Yeah,
Then I'd pick them up.
Yeah,
No, I wouldn't even pick them up.
I agree with that.
I'd just leave them probably.
No doubt. You think we get a hunt going? Me, you, and Tommy go down there and hunt for these suckers?
I'll organize it. Y'all can do it.
I'll go down there.
And y'all video record it because that would
I'll go.
really be some funny stuff.
Yeah, I'm too much of a coward to do anything like that. You know that. But anyway, so I thought about you, Tommy, when I read this article. I said, I got to bring this up to.
Did you read about the alligator getting somebody?
Yes,
South Carolina, I think.
Well, actually, there was one in South Carolina, and there was an even worse one in Australia. He attacked a guy. They had it videoed, and he did get away. They did not kill him, but it was terrible. It was scary, man. I mean, they're so fast. You can't comprehend how quick they are.
Yeah.
You have to
fast.
zigzag because they don't change directions very easily.
Yeah.
I hate that I know these things, but
Yeah.
I think I could outrun one.
Yeah, I guarantee you they wouldn't catch me.
no, I mean, apparently they get up to about 30 miles an hour.
Oh, they can, and they're
These
huge.
things are quick.
The crocodiles are huge. What happened in South Carolina? I might have talked about this one before. I'm not sure.
I think they was walking a dog or something.
Okay, yeah, that happened
Jumped
again.
down
Second
and got
time, it wasn't the exact same lake, but it was in the same state. Second time that's happened. Yes. I heard, no, I won't do it. I was going to say I will not do
Only
it.
time I ever see them is if I have to take 19 south, down along the coast and going through like Chiefland and all that.
Right.
Every time I'm on it, I'll see a gator just right off the side of the road, just hanging out.
Well, we would go down to Miami or in Fort Lauderdale over there to go watch that bowl game. It was the old Joe Robbie, not Joe Robbie, the old stadium they used to
Yeah, the Orange Bowl.
the old one, and you go over Alligator Alley at night,
oh, yeah.
and you
They're
can
all
see their
along.
eyes. They're
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, if you fall in the water there, you're not gonna survive. You're gone. You're dead. It's over. They had a good, nice snack.
Oh.
Anything else we can talk about? This real upbeating.
Well, I got another.
Bears and what else?
Yeah. We were blueberry picking last year, and out in the middle in a farmland now. We was going down a straightaway, and I looked. I said, something's crossing the road up there. Went up there, and it was an alligator crossing the road. No water anywhere. It was going into an open field. I don't know what it was doing. I guess there must have been some water on over there, but it was an alligator, probably a 10-foot alligator crossing the road.
Well, you grew up down that way.
Oh, yeah.
You've been up down that river, the
Oh, I
creeks
see
and
'em,
ponds. They're everywhere. And I'll tell you right now that it seems like if you have a dog or a small child, I wouldn't even get them fresh water. I'm serious. I used to do it, not now.
Another thing, I took my daughter, Kara. She was probably about 6 years old, was going down the river, and we're pulling this place where I was going to fish. There was a sandbar out there, and Kara kept saying, there's alligators. I said, no, that's just logs up there. Pulling in, about 15 alligators went off there, and boy, she panicked. She said, let's get out of here. I'm not staying here.
That's
a long time
If you
ago.
ever get down Central Florida, Lake Pierce, great fishing. During mating season, my father and I went, and this was probably in 1980, 81, 82, something like that. And we were told, no one to get in water out there, and nobody keeps their dogs near it or anything like that because they're everywhere. They're overpopulated there. And we got out there, and they started making that noise and shaking the water. It scared us to death. We got the heck out of there. It was crazy.
This is your morning wildlife show.
Yeah, this is the wildlife for Tommy Santamont. Hey, this is we got 41 bowl games coming up. The national championship game this year, January 8th, will be played in Houston, Texas. The playoff games, January 1st, Rose Bowl, 4 o'clock on ESPN. That's Central Time. The Sugar Bowl will be the other one. That game will be played at night like it used to be.
That's the way it should be.
Yeah. Last year it was played 11 o'clock on New Year's Day. 7:45 kickoff right after that one. So you get all the hype for the first one, the Rose Bowl. You don't get much as hype for the second ball game. Fiesta Bowl, that game will kick off at noon on ESPN on January 1st. Now, the Orange Bowl is different this year. They're going to play on December 30th, not 31st, not the 1st. They're going to play on December 30th, kickoff. Get this, the Orange Bowl kickoff. You're not going to like this. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's always been a night game. Always been a night game. That kicks off at 3. That's on ESPN. And then December 30th, the exact same day, the Peach Bowl, 11 o'clock kickoff. 11 o'clock kickoff, probably be a team from the SEC in there somewhere, ESPN. That's that. Of course, we all know it's Atlanta, the Mercedes Stadium. And then the Cotton Bowl, Jerry's World, December, not 1st, not January 1st, not December 31st, not the 30th, the 29th. The 29th. The Cotton Bowl, 7 o'clock night game, ESPN. So that's the big ones. Now, the January 1st games are Citrus Bowl. The Citrus Bowl kicks off at 11 o'clock in the morning, ABC. Remember now, the playoff games have taken over that. Right. Like it used to be the tradition, all these bowl games, that's kind of gone away. They are some. The Quest Bowl, same day, 10 o'clock in the morning, ESPN 2. Now, the Citrus Bowl, 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, that's on ABC. Then on December 30th, SEC games, I wrote down what the SEC tied into. Music City Bowl, December 30th, 1 o'clock, ABC. I would like to go there because it's in Nashville. You look like you'd have a good time there. And they usually have pretty good crowds that show up to the games. Did you see the drawings of the new stadium in Nashville for the Titans?
I've heard things. I haven't seen it.
It's absolutely beautiful. It's indoor, billion. I mean, it's incredible.
Nashville's booming. So
what's wrong with the one that's there now? I mean,
that's nice.
That's a couple years old.
Yeah, they want an indoor. They want an indoor facility. And they're going to have concerts and they're going to all this other kind of stuff.
Right. And it's going to be kind of right next to where the current one is. I think it's part of the parking lot of the current one. But
wow.
There's some kind of walk-in you'll be able anyway, this is going to be pretty cool. When it gets done,
I think they're doing those hybrids kind of like what they did with SoFi and where it's covered, but it's not like completely an indoor.
Yeah. It's cool. I saw the pictures of it. It's really neat. And you will see probably a national championship game. Once they build some huge thing for NFL.
Oh, they would love to go to Nashville.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The Liberty Bowl, we all know about the Liberty Bowl, Memphis, Tennessee, Elvis, home of Elvis, December 29th. That kickoff is at 2:30 in the afternoon on ESPN. Now, Music City was at 1 o'clock on ABC. December 29th, the gate. Tommy, would you look that up on your phone? December 29th, what day of the week that is? I want to say a Thursday. Anyway, the Gator Bowl is also on that game, that date, December 29th, 11 o'clock kickoff.
29th's a Friday.
29th's Friday, okay.
Yeah,
so the 30. Wow, that's crazy. 11 o'clock Gator Bowl. You imagine going to Jacksonville that time of year playing 11 o'clock in the morning? Anyway, that's your tie-ins to the SEC. That's a little bit of the bowl games that are going on. Big Ten, Big Ten has that big noon game. This is 2023 Big Ten on CBS. This year, the SEC is still a big deal with the CBS. This is the last year.
Right.
But so these are the games they plugged in because they're going to join the Big Ten. Saturday, September 2nd, 2:30, Ohio State versus at Indiana. That's going to be on TV on CBS. Sunday, September 3rd, 11 o'clock kickoff, Northwestern at Rutgers. How many kids will be playing that ball game with everything that's going on there? We don't know.
Not many more than would be watching it on TV.
Yeah, good point. Saturday, September 9th, 2:30, UNLV versus Michigan. Saturday, September 23rd, 6:30, Iowa versus at Penn State. At Penn State. Saturday, October 28th, 11 o'clock kickoff, Big Ten. They don't know who it's going to be yet. And the only one they know for sure they got later on in the year is November 24th, which is a Friday, 11 o'clock kickoff, Iowa at Nebraska. So that's kind of... Now, I do have the CBS games already marked down so far. These are just a few of them. September 16th, 2:30 kickoff, South Carolina at Georgia. October 28th, 2:30 kickoff, Georgia versus Florida, Jacksonville, Gator Bowl. November 4th, 2:30, or 6:45. They've already picked it. And I'm telling you right now, it's going to be a night game. Wait and see. Alabama, LSU.
Sure.
It'll be a night game. November 24th, 3 o'clock, Missouri at Arkansas. And then on December 2nd, the SEC championship game, they say kickoff on this one's going to be at 3 o'clock. So that's an early preview of what to look forward to in the college football season. What are we about 44 days away, 45 days away?
Getting close.
Yeah. Can't wait, man. I cannot wait. If we get through July, we got to make. If I can get through July, because you start smelling it in August, and then you got every can open. There'll be a lot to take. How many more days?
44.
44. Cannot wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be nothing but alligators and bears and everything until then.
if I can just get awake. All right, let's talk about some of the great people we got sponsoring us today, and like we do every day. Chuck Tucker, love you, brother. You know his daddy. Yep. Wonderful job he's done at Mosley's, the principal. Chuck does the same thing with his company, South Oak Title and Closing. There's offices throughout Northwest Florida. For all your real estate closing, you make sure you go to South Oak Title and Closing. Jay Michaels, you were there yesterday, packed out, completely packed out. Always is on Wednesday, world famous spaghetti. Get out there and have a great meal. Best seafood, coldest beer, and it feels good right now, doesn't it? Let's thank Stevenson Air Conditioning. Jason, thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
Coat.
Unbelievable. They do a great job. I'm glad you got your coat. And don't forget about El Rodeo Tequila Bar Grill. I'll talk a little bit more with them a little bit. All right, we'll be right back. Tommy Santamont. I almost said Jeremy Pridgeon. Brian's with us today. We'll be right back. 104.3
Lightning would have struck.
I'm so used to saying it. All right, we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning, this is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Likely thunderstorms and partly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a high near 85 and a wind between 10 to 15 miles per hour. A chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with likely thunderstorms. Very warm with a high around 85 and a variety of some clouds and likely thunderstorms Saturday. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Let's see. Diamond stud earrings for Marcy, Bullo watch for Tommy, tennis bracelet for Kathy, and Keith wants a 14-karat chain. Oh, and Hannah wants those white gold hoop earrings.
Okay, guys, Santa gave me his list. He knows that Tracy's Fine Jewelry has the largest selection and lowest prices you'll find anywhere. We've stopped the cases, slashed the prices, and we're offering a free 6-month layaway on our entire jewelry selection. For a stress-free holiday, Tracy's Fine Jewelry, where Santa shops.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
And here we go. The #1 SEC call-in show is now twice as big. The Paul Feinbaum Show. Weekday evening 6 to 10. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Brian's in the building with us this morning, usually on Wednesday, but we talked to him to come to Thursday. Tommy Santamont's here. Jeremy's off for the month of July. He's taking up. He doing pretty good?
He's doing real good. He's at church Sunday, as always.
Saw a picture of him and his beautiful wife, and they just had the anniversary, so happy anniversary to them. Not today, but a couple days ago. Brian, you made up a good point this morning, something I didn't really think about. NIL. Brian said, is NIL, we complain about with football, it's kind of changing the game. I do believe it's going to benefit Texas and USC probably more than any other schools. But in other sports, it could be a good thing. Kind of explain that to us.
Well, it's not any kind of fully formed thought or anything, but I was just, we're a year to 2 years into this now. Most of when we talk about it, we complain about how it upsets the dynamics of football. And look, obviously football is the engine that drives everything. But I was kind of given, a little bit of thought to maybe the impact it might have across other sports. And I haven't loved the impact in football or basketball. However, it very well may be the best thing in the world that's ever happened to college baseball. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you why. For years and years, high school seniors had a choice to make. Because if you went to college, you're not eligible to get drafted till your junior year. Right. And so a lot of them would go on and choose to get into the minor league system where they could make money. Mm-hmm. Now, those systems, depending on where you are and which club you're with and, whether you're low A ball or, whatever, aren't maybe necessarily the best organizationally. They don't have the support system around you. They treat you like an adult. You get in the college environment, and the resources that are around you are much more organized and formed. And you're able to make a little money through NIL. I think it's probably better for player development. It's certainly better for the sport of college baseball, and I think we're seeing that already because the draft was college heavy this year.
Well, isn't it better for the individual student? I mean, he's getting an education instead of out driving around a bus everywhere. When you brought that up, that's a great point you made. When you were talking there, this shot right back to like 1981, whatever year it was, and Pat Borders, we talked about him. He could have gone to Mississippi State on a full scholarship. He was going to play quarterback in the wishbone and play baseball there. And we were like, what you just said, we were all talking behind his back, talking like, man, he could get his college degree and he's going to go try this. I mean, what is he doing? He's screwing up his future. Yeah. Because we thought, you don't know if you're going to make it. You just don't know.
Well, that's it. It's very difficult to get to the bigs in baseball. And so, I mean, but, I can remember when I was in college in the 90s, we had a guy, Eric DeBose, who pitched for Mississippi State. I think he was a 4th or 5th round draft pick out of high school. And it was amazing that he passed that up to come to Mississippi State. Guys really in the first 7 rounds never passed it up to go to college. That's 30 years ago. I mean, that's not that long ago. So it's definitely had an impact on the college game, which is good.
Go back to this young man. Yeah. How did he do afterwards? Did he make it?
He ended up getting drafted, I think, just a little bit higher, and he made it to the bigs. He didn't play very long, I don't think, but he was a good pitcher.
So it worked out, and he had the college degree.
Yeah, it did. And he was a guy, and there are some guys who, if their family is kind of pretty good means, maybe it's not as difficult a decision for them, and he was. And there were guys like Will Clark who could have gone straight out, and he was, I mean, they weren't rolling in money, but he was comfortable, so things like that. But it's also interesting around other sports, too. And, like for years, swimmers had a hard decision to make, especially the women, because their prime athletic years may be the high school and early college years. And if you're going to make any money in swimming, which there isn't much, but if you were going to make it, it'd be through a sponsorship deal. So you got people who go to the Olympics as a high school senior, win gold medal. That is their prime opportune time to make money. But they don't want to give up college swimming because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so they had a hard decision to make. Michael Phelps did not swim in college because he cashed in. Now they're able to get their NIL deals through Speedo, through Tier, through Nike, whoever, and be a part of college athletics. That's been good for the college swim game. The other thing to consider, and we did talk about this a little bit, and this can be a little good and a little bad, is the way it has affected the female athlete in college. It's been wonderful in terms of bringing a lot of money in because a lot of the top NIL athletes, short of your top 5 or 6 football players, are female athletes. That's wonderful because these are people who generally have not had the professional opportunities in sports to make big money like their male counterparts. However, the downside of that can be a lot of the highest earning female NIL athletes aren't necessarily getting it for their athletic prowess, but more for their social media followings. Now, if a young female is comfortable in those kind of things, and a lot of it is bikini pics and things like this, and that's I'm not saying anything people don't know. That's a lot of what's going on, and they put out content and things like that. If they're comfortable in that and everything, that's fine, but that does bring a lot of unwanted attention. It can bring stalkers. It can be scary. We see with the girl at LSU, the gymnast.
$3 million.
Absolutely. And good for her making that money. But look, if I'm a dad of a, 18, 19-year-old daughter, that's worrisome to me. There are security concerns and things like that. So it's wonderful they have the opportunity to monetize, but it can be a little bit scary. So you need to know what you're getting into. So I just thought the whole dynamic of NIL is interesting across all sports, all genders, and it gets a bad rap mainly because of football, and fair, it's rightly deserved, but it may not necessarily always be a bad thing,
Brian, does any of the I know baseball, the minor sports, a lot of it's just partial scholarships. Now in swimming, do they ever give full swimming scholarships?
Very, very rarely.
That would be really good.
Yeah, because it's same thing. You've got to spread a limited amount of scholarships across a big thing. What swimming does, swimming generally speaking, the kids are very high level academic.
Right.
And so they will utilize as much academic money as possible to reduce the load on the athletic. Yeah.
It is in the same way with softball. I don't think they're
because of Title IX. Most women's sports are better funded. For example, Ron Polk at Mississippi State could work 11.7 scholarships into any answer he gave you on any topic. It drove him nuts because men's baseball would travel like 24, 25 players, and he got 11.7 scholarships. Women's basketball would travel 12, and they would get 13 scholarships. That's a Title IX balance issue. It's not that it's unfair. It's just what it is. So, yeah, baseball has to stretch them. Yep. Swimming has to stretch them. A lot of the Olympic sports have to stretch them.
I even heard one of these girls that play college basketball with her NIL money, she'd be better off staying in school another year than go play professional.
Yeah, and
make more money.
That's definitely an issue with the WNBA because even being financially supported by the NBA, you're right. A lot of them can make more money staying in cotton. Now, the WNBA also has an age rule for being drafted as well, which is a little surprising. Like I said, the female athletic window, generally speaking, is shorter than the male one. So I'm a little surprised they have that rule. But yeah, there are a lot who can do that.
The pitcher that went to Mississippi State, did he come from money? His parents?
I mean, he was comfortable. I wouldn't say they were rich.
When you said that, that's what's weird about Pat. His dad was our JV football coach, and we all thought that he should go to Mississippi State and get his education, then do the major. And his dad, teacher and everything like that, he was just, he's going professional now. Yeah, but it turned out great. I mean, he made more money. He was filthy rich. I mean, he did great. But it's just kind of weird.
All of it comes to dynamics. I mean, guys have decisions to make, like in football. Do I come out and go in the draft like Peyton Manning didn't? He couldn't. He could have, and he would have been a very high pick. Might have been number one again, but he didn't because he didn't really need to. That was certainly a factor. Whereas a guy who's not just for himself, but supporting maybe his whole family, that's a consideration they've got to make.
You think about it, if you had a player and they play him, they give him all this money coming out of high school, and he didn't perform like they thought, but he still has this NIL money, and then he gets his draft grade, he's going to go in the third round. Well, for some of them, they'd be better to stay another year in college also, instead of being drafted in the third round.
Well, and you look at a situation, I don't know Pat at all, but like you said, if his dad was around education, things like that.
That's what blew our minds.
But look at it this way. Most people, if they pass up going to college right out of high school, they'll never come back. And you can always go to college.
Right.
Look, I didn't graduate until many, many years after I started. You can do it.
Yeah.
A guy like Pat, probably coming from the family he did, you go give this athletic opportunity a shot to maximize your income now, and if it doesn't work, you can always go back because he had an educational structure around him.
Yeah,
I bet that was a consideration in his specific
and they made
circumstance.
Save money back then too.
Plus, he probably wouldn't needed scholarship money to go to college, whereas a lot of those guys would.
What was Polk there back in the 80s?
Yeah,
because I think that's who it was. I think that was the coach then. I can't swear.
Oh, yeah, it would have been. Yeah, because
back then Mississippi State was a big, like they are now in baseball. They were a big.
Well, those were the mid '80s. Was the Thunder and Lightning years where you had Will Clark, and Rafael Palmeiro, and Bobby Thigpen, Jeff Brantley, all in the same team.
I did not take
and
steroids.
Still couldn't win it.
Did you see that?
Yeah, he didn't at Mississippi State. As far as you know.
Yeah, he didn't know the question. Yeah, he didn't know what you were asking.
Yeah, as those high school kids, to give up the college experience, that's tough.
See, and we've talked about that even with these high school kids. Look, I understand from a football perspective why you get on campus in the spring.
Yeah.
Man, live out your senior year. Go to your prom. Do your stuff.
I know.
And it's the same thing you're talking about. The college experience is a big deal.
That's what blows my mind. These guys are going, this freshman running back Alabama's got, they had a bunch of them there. right after the first semester of high school, they're going. They're in Tuscaloosa. They're in Athens, Georgia.
I really wish they wouldn't let them do it, but I know why they do.
Anyway. All right, I want to get back to El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. My little baby girl's in town, Jamie Hale. Her birthday is today, so we got to say happy birthday to her.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Jamie.
And she's sleeping, but anyway. She loves,
Wake up.
We've known David forever, and he owns the new El Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill. So we had a little get-together there, and cake and everything, granddaughters, everybody's there. We had a great time. They're doing really well. Usually they're big nights on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, but man, I'll tell you what, it was packed out there last night. Great Mexican food. The drink specials are incredible. So get out there, Rodeo Tequila Bar and Grill, and tell them Coach sent you. And I hope Jamie wakes up where we could say happy birthday to her. Hey, if you're not just feeling well, you just don't, something's wrong, your knees aching, Julie, don't put it off. Go see Dr. Chad Mitchell. Go get checked out. Go get an x-ray. Go to MRI. He's been taking care of Bay County athletes for 24 years. Tommy, he's been on there like you. I mean, he's been here forever.
He was here, when he first came, I hooked up right with him and was right with him the whole time.
Yeah, he is a wonderful man.
He is a great guy.
And you can listen to him right here every Monday on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rudy's Barbecue, the best barbecue you can get anywhere. You been lately? You been in there lately?
I went last week, I think, and got some tacos in the morning.
Yeah, get down there, lunch. I keep forgetting about that, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They got that, but I keep telling everybody, I know you love the barbecue, try the turkey. One time, you'll be hooked forever. I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. Rudy's Barbecue on Back Beach Road. We'll be right back. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's here. The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game. Plus more opportunities to win weekly prizes from local businesses when you click it to win it. Download the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app today at Google Play or the Apple Store.
Bestway Portable Buildings has been your portable building specialist since 1989. Before you invest your hard-earned money someplace else, owner Jason Mulder invites you to stop by Bestway and get a quote on just about any size building. And whether you buy with Bestway or not, it's worth the trip just to meet Bestway Buddy. Say hello, buddy. Good boy. Bestway Portable Buildings, just north of Harts Marine on 231, and online at bestwayportablebuildings.com. The best in portable, period. Tell them Buddy sent ya. Are you thinking of doing a fundraiser? Well, Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan says, let's raise some dough. Earn up to 50% profit with a Krispy Kreme fundraiser in-shop or online. So let's raise some dough. At Krispy Kreme Donuts next to HCA Hospital, 23rd Street, Panama City, and on the Ross Clark Circle in Dothan.
Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, this is Tim.
Do y'all sell bait?
Yes, we seasonally stock live shrimp, live bull minnows, live sand fleas, live fiddler crabs, earthworms, night crawlers, crickets. We also stock frozen shrimp, sand fleas, mullets, squid, pre-rigged ballyhoo, bonita, stingray, cigar minnows, Boston mackerel, Spanish mackerel, and a few other miscellaneous baits. It's worth the drive to buy premium locally sourced bait from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, located directly off Highway 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio.
Boss, I got good news and bad news. What's the bad news? Your hat's on fire.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! I don't think I hit that very good.
You did all right.
It's okay. You know, yesterday we were at the working out, and I thought I heard that voice. I thought I heard it. I thought I heard John. Hadn't seen him in a while. He messed his back up, so he couldn't work out for a while. Had to get it fixed. And they've been traveling. But I heard the voice. I got to talk to somebody else and forgot to go check. So I don't know if that was him or not. I don't know. So I will look today and see if he's back in the gym.
You're referring to John McVeigh?
The one and only John McVeigh. He's
I don't know.
unbelievable.
Some people just know John.
All right.
We do.
Yeah. John the Stud McVeigh.
Hey, you ever need to find John, just find that racquetball court.
He's good. He's good. I'm telling you right now, I think he can still play. And he's getting up there in age now. He's not as old as we are. Well, not you, but me and Tommy. But he still looks really good. Now, of course, you got to keep Charlotte happy. You got to look good. And she's beautiful, so he's got to maintain.
Well, I just want y'all to know that I hope y'all enjoy the fact that I'm keeping your membership rates low at the gym by keep paying and I haven't been there in a while. So I got to get back out.
They like people like
they love me.
I got the silver slipper, so I'm good. That's one good thing anyway. Hey, we get out to Newbies. Newbies, too, before you want to watch all the sporting events. The Mothership is incredible. They've been doing really well. I mean, they've knocking out the ballpark. Will, Kathy, all of them down there do a great job. All right, Tommy, what do you got for us today on FSU?
We're going to talk a little bit about football recruiting. Right now, FSU is number 14 on the recruiting level here, and 3 key prospects is already committed. And I'm sure y'all have heard Cam Davis. He's 5'9", 210, a running back from Albany, Georgia.
Yes.
I didn't realize it. As a junior, he rushed for 2,736 yards, 20 TDs. You know what his average yards? 16.7.
16.7?
That's a
national
competition.
Record. Yeah.
I mean,
that'll do.
He's scoring some long runs. What
his coach says, anytime he touches the ball, he can go for a touchdown. That's what his coach said about it. But anyway, he's committed. He's a FSU recruit. And of course, their quarterback, Luke Cromanhope, he moved up to number 3 in the quarterback ranking, and they've got another kid, the Landon Thomas kid, that they flipped from Georgia, the 5-star tight end, from Moultrie, Georgia. Those 3 are some of their key recruits right now. They just in July they hit a little spot where they got some kids. They got D.D. Holmes, he's an edge rusher, a 4-star. They got their receiver Elijah Moore, 6'4", 195, and these 2 kids are both 4-stars, great players. They have committed. And they picked up 2 3-star DBs, Ricky Knight from the Benjamin School and Red Morgan from Phoenix City, Central Alabama. They both have committed to FSU. And later on in July, there's some big names for FSU's coming up. July the 28th, 5-star cornerback Charles Lester from Venice, Florida. He's the number 20 recruit in the nation. He's going to be picking between FSU, Colorado, Alabama, Georgia. And
Roll Tide.
The prediction says FSU, but we'll have to wait and see. He's real big. He's a big FSU kid, so we don't know what happened with that. We'll soon find out. And then 4-star Jonathan Daniels. We've talked about this kid. He's an offensive tackle from Pine Forest, Pensacola. He possibly could commit July the 15th. And again, he's real high on FSU. And there's a lot of schools after him. And then 4-star athlete Micah Danzy. He's the speedster from Tallahassee from FSU University School. He's an athlete, 6'1", 175. He's going to commit July the 15th. And also on July the 15th, Kevin Levy, 6'0", 170-pound cornerback from Cardinal Newman. He's going to be committing. So all these kids I mentioned, FSU's got a chance for all of them. So if they get all these kids, that will really improve their ranking in the recruiting. But as we all know, what does that mean? What does commitment mean these days now? So you never know.
Right.
So anyway, those are the kids that FSU is really needs to get. And a couple of things in basketball. Chandler Jackson, a sophomore guard, he was suspended indefinitely by Coach Leonard. And he's a 4-star, number 90 player in the nation for Memphis. So I don't know what's happened with him, but indefinitely means he could be back tomorrow. He could be back, never come back. So he has been suspended, and they did get a transfer portal kid from LaSalle.
Did they get any indication what he did? What?
Nothing. They never did mention it. Josh Nickelberry he's a 6'4", 175 guard from LaSalle. He's transferred in. So Basketball, they're still searching in the portal, trying to improve their level. And now Baba Miller, the 6'11" kid that was suspended for 16 games, he's a foreign player from Spain? Yeah, Spain, I think. And he just competed in the under-19 World Championships, and he led Spain to the championship over France. And he's 6'11", and they said he's really gotten it together, and he'll be back at FSU next year, so that will help them a lot. So they got to do better than what they did last year. I mean, it's pretty obvious. And of course, Coach Leonard, he knew that he messed up by not going with transfer portal at all. So he's changed his mind about that, and he's trying to get some kids in now. And he's got 3 or 4 kids in that's going to help him next year. But right now, everything's kind of cooking. As we all know, the countdown for football is going on, and they're going through their summer workouts. So we will see how everything goes. In FSU, you see a lot of different things, how they going to do and all this. And they predict him to win the ACC, but they got to go through Clemson at Clemson. So
yeah,
and the
I think they got to play them twice
in the championship. Yeah,
right.
They'll probably end up playing them twice. So
I honestly, I had it a couple days ago. I never had an opportunity to use it. That they had 4 or 5 teams that could screw up college football, and out of the ACC, they talked about Louisville. Yeah, they might surprise some people. So we'll see how it plays out. I want to ask you this, Tommy. Isn't it weird? In the past, it was FSU baseball doing well, basketball doing well, and football was terrible. Mm-hmm. Football's now getting back to where it was, and baseball's fell completely apart, and basketball is completely apart. Yeah. What causes that?
I think team chemistry definitely has got to deal in basketball, especially. I know with them. The kids he had, they could not shoot at all. I mean, their shooting was horrible. Every once in a while they made free throws, but 3 points, they just could not shoot. And I don't think they had the quality of players he's had in the past. And, of course, baseball, with Jared Link coming in and with how it's kind of going down and down and down, and it hit the rock bottom when he came in. So he had zero pitching. That was the pitchers didn't come through at all. And that was his downfall. So you look at little things that makes big things, and that's what happened both in basketball and baseball. And, of course, in football, we know I think the big difference there is the coach and the staff that he's got there now. And as I told you before, and I'll tell you again, every recruit that comes in there talks about how Norville, how he's so energetic, and makes them do what they're supposed to do. His key thing is you need to improve every single. I don't know how they judge this, but he's big on improvement every time you practice. That's his big deal.
All right, let me ask you this. Let's look at basketball. Coach has been there for a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's been there for a long time. If you don't have a shooter and you don't have the personnel, who's that on? Yeah. You got NIL, you got transfers. Baseball, you can say it's year one. Even he coached from year one now. Look what Dion has done at Colorado. He got rid of a bunch of them. He brought in brand new players. They're going to be better than what people think. Let's see how Hugh Freeze does at Auburn the first year. Now that you can get transfers in, now that you got these NIL deal money, when a team doesn't have certain things, who's it on? It's on the coach now.
Yeah, right. And he admitted it. He admitted it. Says, my fault. I should have went to the transport portal, and I didn't do it. He said, I didn't get the memo, and he didn't.
It does still take a while to put a champion together, but you got to show improvement. That's the big thing.
Yeah. And I always say the first year is the hardest, but when basketball, he's been there forever. I'll be honest, I don't think there's an excuse for that.
Basketball is purely years of basketball. I mean, you're going to have a good recruiting class one year, maybe not the next. Leonard Hamilton has been there I remember probably 10 years ago, maybe not that long. Leonard Hamilton was probably, this close to being fired, and all of a sudden, I mean, he had a great run. And, in 2020, the team he had was probably a Final Four team, and then COVID hit. They called everything off. So Basketball, you're going to have up and down. So,
well, I would disagree with until I look at Kentucky when they were on top of the world.
Kentucky's having it down right now. Look at it.
And it's the same coach there.
Yeah.
Kentucky, how can that happen? Kentucky. We're talking Kentucky.
Basketball is the one they should be able to have figured it out by now, because basketball has been a completely different roster from one year to the next for the last 10, 15 years because of the one and done stuff.
It doesn't take but 2 or 3 good players on the basketball team to make a good team.
Yeah.
I mean,
but we can say you can say what you want. It's still on the head coach.
Absolutely. Yeah, sure.
I will say this real quickly, though. A lot of the reason you're seeing these kind of mid-level teams get to the Final Four and all, that extra COVID year, some of these teams are extremely experienced.
6 years. Some of them playing 6 years.
He's talking about, we were talking about earlier about going to see a doctor. If you, and this is seriously now, I've got a coach now that's worked with me down in Cape Coral and didn't do the things he should have done. He's paying for it dearly now with skin cancer. It is deadly, guys. If it doesn't look right, feel right, don't screw around with it. Go get checked. 5 minutes can actually save your life, and you can do that with the best of the best, and that's Dr. Ward. There's offices throughout Northwest Florida. If you're listening right now, there's an office in your backyard. Go call him, make an appointment. Do not put it off.
Let me tell you one thing real quick, since you mentioned that. A friend of my brother-in-law, she had a little teeny dot on her side.
Yeah.
And she went and checked melanoma.
Yeah.
And they cut a bunch out of there to try to get it. She'd have never thought it.
Yep. Right.
And she went for a checkup.
You also got to check the bottom of your feet. You got to check all kinds of things. Ward's unbelievable. Another guy, and you know Pat. I love Pat. Pat does a great job over there in Lynn Haven. But Beefo Brady's, that place was packed out yesterday also. On Wednesdays, you get those 10 wings, drink special, $9.99. Every day they got great food, great service, TVs everywhere. You know the latest what's going on in college football because it's on 24/7 there. They're incredible. Beefo Brady's in Lynn Haven. We're right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Likely thunderstorms and partly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a high near 85 and a wind between 10 to 15 miles per hour. A chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with likely thunderstorms. Very warm with a high around 85 and a variety of some clouds and likely thunderstorms Saturday. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Gulf Coast Aquarium is now Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet. They have a full line of live reptiles and reptile supplies, including the area's largest supplier of ZooMed products. ZooMed, a family-owned business with over 45 years of U.S.-based manufacturing. ZooMed is #1 in reptile products worldwide and is now available at Gulf Coast Aquarium and Pet, 469 Harrison Avenue, downtown Panama City.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports. It can always be reached at instantReplaySportsCards.com.
I don't always talk to Alabama fans, but when I do, I ask for large fries. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Do not forget, 840, high-low. Give us a call, 215-6290. You can call us anytime you want. and get yourself a chance to win a free round of golf at Bay Point. And we're going to give you something. I guarantee you that. Anytime you call, we try to give you something, take care of you. So call us anytime you want. But at 8:40, make sure you call. Phones have been blowing up around that time. Everybody wants to go play golf at Bay Point. Heck, if you win it and don't want to go, you can give somebody else to go play, I guess. But make sure you call us to the end. Also, Best of Bay, I appreciate you going out there. Go on our website or any way you can do it and vote Best for Bay. If you vote for our show, we appreciate that. And my beautiful daughter's birthday today. Happy birthday to Jamie. I want to talk about the Georgia Bulldogs, Kirby Smart, what he's doing there. And I'm going to give you some little love to the great state of Georgia. You people do it right. You pay the teachers a lot. You pay the coaches more than probably anywhere except maybe Texas. Close to Texas, I'll say that. Some coordinators don't even have to teach at some of these schools. The head coaches don't, and most of them, and they play well. And to get a job there, you have to have an outstanding resume. It doesn't go by the good old boys. If you're buddies with a superintendent or something like that, that doesn't happen in that state. The number of athletes coming out of there is incredible. And you got Georgia there, the big dog. Georgia Tech's been down big time. Can they start pulling some kids in to come to Georgia Tech? Academics, I think, a little bit tougher maybe to get in Georgia Tech than Georgia, you would think. I don't know that for sure. But what Kirby's building at Georgia is incredible. And I said this 2 or 3 years ago. If he stays in it long enough, he'd break every record Nick Saban sets, and it might come true. He might be, and I think he will be, the first coach to really win 3 national championships. Bear Bryant's done it before. They just screwed him in the voting. You know, they'd won back-to-back national championships. Then he was undefeated, and because of race stuff that was going on in the South, they didn't get the national championship that year. I do believe Kirby's going to win it this year. A lot of people don't believe that, but I do believe he will. It all starts with recruiting. But Tommy, recruiting, you look at when you go to Georgia and you get a player from that state. They've been developed by some of the best high school football coaches in the country. They have weight rooms second to none. They have practice facilities. They've got it all. Everything you need to be a champion or have a chance to win, those high schools do it. The principals in those schools and those superintendents in those counties knows how important it is to those people, and they demand the best. And if you're not the best, they hire you and it doesn't work out, you're not going to be there very long. So they demand it, they get it, and that helps Georgia when they get a kid from Georgia. I know Alabama, when they get a player from Georgia, they usually do pretty doggone good when they go to University of Alabama. And everybody's going to that state, and they've got a lot of players to pick from. But Georgia's knocking out of the ballpark right now.
Well, you know, FSU recruits Georgia big time.
Yeah.
Cam Davis, that kid I talked about, Albany.
Yeah.
Luke Cromenhoe, the quarterback, Savannah, Georgia. Mm-hmm. Both of those, in a number of kids they recruit out of Georgia. And Cromenhoe, I didn't realize this, but the kid from Auburn, Holden Jarnett, he's a freshman quarterback at Auburn, been doing real well in practice. He was at the same school that Luke was. Luke's going to be a senior this year, and I guess he graduated last year. He's a freshman at Auburn, doing real well too.
I want you to listen. These are the kids they've signed or committed or whatever. The size of these kids. This is the difference between Georgia, even Alabama right now.
Oh yeah,
6'8",
yep.
6'8", 6'8", 6'7", 6'6", 6'6". The average weight across this group is 345 pounds. Yep. The highest average for any SEC program, offensive line class over the past 5 years by 17 pounds.
It'll take you a minute to run around them, wouldn't it?
Oh, my God.
They don't even block.
That also sounds like a Chad Mitchell dream.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight and a lot of size on them joints.
You just don't. This is bigger than NFL teams.
I know it.
He's got it rolling. Yeah. They got NIL. Now, he will tell you, so will Nick Saban, even Coach Day at Ohio State, they're all concerned about NIL. They think something has to be done. When you got those 3 schools saying that, you know there's something they're worried about, and there's 2 teams they're worried about. One's coming to the SEC, and that's Texas, and the other one's USC because of NIL money and power that they're going to have to get players to come to their schools.
Here's the other thing in what you just read off there. That's why there's such a premium on these quarterbacks being 6'3", 6'4" now. I mean, they're having to throw over these giants, you know. The Bryce and Stetsons are going to have that much more trouble the bigger these guys keep getting.
You know, I thought about this. What do y'all think the difference is in a team that's had a losing season for 2 or 3 years in a row as opposed to one that's winning all the time in recruiting? for instance, Florida's got some great recruits. I mean, they're doing
they're third in the
Miami,
nation.
Great recruits. And they didn't have a good season. Do kids want to go to school where they can play instantly?
We had Mark on the phone yesterday. Mm-hmm. It's NIL. Florida's got the NIL rolling right now.
NIL's got.
It used to be facilities. Now it's both. It's more. Money's everything. Right, it's money, then facilities.
Recruiting is all about, just like anything, it's finding out what drives the kid's engine. And then you promote that. Some of them, it's being a part of a champion. Some of them, it's instant playing time. Some of it is all these great facilities that you can fall in love with. Some of them, it's purely business cashing in. You know, the great recruiters are the ones who very quickly identify what motivates the kid that they want, and they highlight that.
It's the relationships. I mean, establish those relationships with them and to get them in there.
Yeah, and you're going to get back to Georgia. And Jamie did an article on this kid from Hawaii. He's at Alabama. He's in high school football, Thompson High School in Alabama. He's already got all these offers. He's an 8th grader, started on the state championship football team. An 8th grader starting for a state championship football team. He's the next superstar coming for his quarterback. And he came from Hawaii. And he's friends with somebody else that was a pretty good football player in Hawaii that played at Alabama. But anyway, that high school, they showed the interview, they're sitting inside an indoor practice facility at this school. The weight room's unbelievable. It looked like a college, and it's a high school team. So in certain areas in Alabama, high school football is the king. I mean, it's unbelievable what they pay and what they do. Most of the state of Georgia is that way. But Houston's head football coach, he said, I've been to all these NFL camps. I go watch what they do. I've been to Alabama. I said, but I'm going to tell you right now, there's nothing I've seen what's going on in Georgia right now. Their players are bigger than NFL players. What Kirby's done there is incredible, and it ain't going away. I mean, he's got it roll. And all the negative stuff they're going after him with on the Atlanta, that paper in Atlanta, going after him about the sexual harassment, the car racing, the deaths, and all that kind of stuff. That's not affecting their recruiting whatsoever. And I'm with him. Every kid, not all kids are the same, the way you're raised and everything else, but most of them today, when you show them the checkbook, not really the kid, but the mama, and if they have two, the mom and dad, or an aunt or uncle, grandmother, money drives a lot of that. And Georgia, Ohio State, Alabama got it, but they don't have it like Texas, and they don't have it like USC.
You know, if you go back about 5 years with Kirby, I remember looking at this. He was always getting the top-level athletes the way it was done. Like, he learned, and he was part of that machine. It's not like he just learned from Saban. He was part of it. He was always good at that. What he was missing about 5 years ago was he would get them bought into the come here, you're going to elevate, create value for yourself, whatever. But he was missing that last little bit of, you know, believe in the Georgia program, win a championship for Georgia that I thought Alabama had over Georgia then. The guys would sit out the bowl games for Georgia that they weren't in Alabama, this, that, or the other. I think that has now been fixed. Like, that was the one thing I thought he was missing in 2017, 2018 that he has now gotten figured out. And as such, he's every bit on par with Nick Saban. The only difference right now is experience and number of rings.
That key word, culture, that's what they say all the time.
Well, you know,
culture.
And he makes a great point. Until you do it, you hadn't done it. In the back of those mind, the key for what's been blocking him has been Alabama. They couldn't beat Alabama. And once you beat them, you get – that's why Auburn's one of the few schools, they're not scared of Alabama. You go play in Jordan-Hare, you go to Iron Bowl and play there, Auburn believes they can beat them regardless of what their record is. Most teams go play Alabama are intimidated and scared. And they, in the back of their mind, we can't beat them. It gets close, we're going to screw it up, and they do. Once they finally beat them, they're not intimidated anymore. Texas A&M, they beat them, and they came in the next year, and everybody thought they're going to get kicked. Honestly, Texas A&M should have beat us. I was at the game. They're not intimidated to Alabama anymore.
I just feel like now there's more of a we are Georgia Bulldogs who are trying to go to the NFL, whereas I thought originally it was I'm here on the way to the NFL. I think he has finally built in that that true belief in Georgia.
I tell you what, if you don't like Georgia, they're not going away.
That's right.
He's got it rolling. But when I saw the size of those players,
I know, that's amazing.
They're bigger than NFL players. And these guys are first-round draft picks across the board.
We need it like the old days where the NCAA recruiter would show up Bear Bryant's office and said, Coach, we got some problems. I need to talk to you. They'd go in their office, and 45 minutes later, Auburn be on probation. So we need that with Georgia.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Anyway, I really thought everything was going on. They're going to hit him hard, the recruits. But no.
To keep it going, that's tough on the coach.
Well, that's what I was getting at. You see the programs that go back and forth. I don't see Georgia dropping off for a while.
I don't either.
It's going.
Well, Alabama fell apart last year. We lost 2 games.
Ridiculous.
It was terrible. You can't have that.
Failure.
All right, let's talk about. I tell you something right now that never falls apart. That's Turf Pro Pest Control. You want that yard to look absolutely beautiful? Call Patrick. Their team does an incredible job. They do our yard, and it looks a million times better.
I thought you did your yard.
No, I'll take the credit.
You did.
I'll take the credit, but it's really Patrick and Turf Pro. Thank you, Tommy. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli, 3 restaurants in one. They got the best pizza you get anywhere. The bakery's incredible. John does an unbelievable job. The deli, you've seen it. You've been down there. The lasagna, the spaghetti. They got it all right down there at Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. We get back what you've been waiting on, Alabama Crimson Tide. Don't forget, 840 high-low game. You got to call us, 840-215-629. Be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. We're taking the inside drive.
We're going to talk Ellie Dela Cruz.
Yeah, did you hear what happened yesterday?
What happened? I want to know.
So he had a sensor on the bottom of his bat that had a little plastic cap on it, and they were playing yesterday against the Nationals. The Nationals manager asked the ump to take a look at his bat because he thought he had something.
Join Ryan Mulvey.
Thank you very little.
Middays 11 to 1 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Likely thunderstorms and partly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a high near 85 and a wind between 10 to 15 miles per hour. A chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with likely thunderstorms. Very warm with a high around 85 and a variety of some clouds and likely thunderstorms Saturday. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WTOT, W271DM Mariana, WVLQ Port St. John.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Ben and Deb Collins, owners of Bay Guns and Gear, have been in business since 2010, offering new firearms and accessories with a huge selection available for your hunting needs and personal defense. Turn to Bay Guns and Gear. They have the weapon for you. Discount pricing. And if you can't find what you're looking for, they'll special order it for you. Bay Guns and Gear, across from Grease Pro at 3115 Highway 77. Visit their website, baygunsandgear.com.
Put down your natural light. It's time for the Alabama Update. The Alabama Update, weekday mornings at 8. On the Coach James Hale Show at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. Roll Tide, baby. Alabama Update brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1, not even close. I went with them. They did an incredible job. They'll do the same for you. If it breaks down anytime, day or night, call Jason, Stevenson Air Conditioning. They'll be out there and they'll solve all your problems. Clover. They do that in the fourth quarter. Every game, place goes absolutely crazy. 100-something thousand people going nuts. Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful thing to see.
I don't like it when 100,000 are going nuts in the fourth quarter. That means the game is too darn close.
It's loud.
It needs to be only about 50,000 in the fourth quarter.
All right, Alabama Crimson Tide. What's going on? 2024 quarterback. You know, Georgia has supposedly signed the #1 quarterback in the country. They go to all these competition camps, the Elite 11, all over the country. Your boy from Florida State was there. He's jumped to #3 because they evaluate him. They all get together. He's number 3. Well, the number 1 kid is now from Alabama. That's Sayans, his last name, Sayin.
Right.
Julian Sayin, 5-star quarterback. He is now the number 1 player in the country, 2024 class, number 1 quarterback. And they talked to him, interviewed him a little bit, and he goes, I was never going to pick a place because of how the locker room lineup looked like. I didn't care less about that. I'm going to go with I felt like fits me the most. It brings out my ability the best. And to me, that's the University of Alabama. I'm not worried about the competition whatsoever. I like what he's saying. I like that, man. He's kind of got maybe a little cocky, which I like from a quarterback. I watched the highlights on this young man. He's the real deal. He can throw a football like you wouldn't believe.
You want somebody who's not afraid to compete if you're going to be at the top level. And anybody who says, well, I don't know, I would have had a hard time starting there, so I went somewhere else.
Yeah. Right.
I get it, but I wouldn't want you.
So Alabama's quarterback situation, I think it's better than what people think, even though everybody's like, we don't have a quarterback. I think we're going to be okay.
The future's good. This year's rough.
And down the road, this young 8th grader, I think we got a shot at him too, by the way. Alabama, though, you look all the years past, they go by these group, all these experts, and they're trying to sell magazines and everything, but they have all these groups, best linebackers, receivers, running back, quarterbacks, whatever. Alabama wasn't in any of them. They did not have a best group of anything. The one thing I think they had it wrong, I'm going to go over with you right now what they believe, the experts here. The best group of receivers in the college football, they go Ohio State. Yeah. I kind of agree with that. I agree with that. Number 2, quarterback, Southern Cal. We got the Heisman Trophy winner. I guess you got to go with that. Sense. Okay. Florida State's not bad. LSU's not bad. But I can go with that. Number 3, this is one I disagree. I do believe Alabama's got the best group of running backs in the country. I truly believe that. The 2 freshmen, now the one freshman from Lehigh High School where I used to coach a long time ago, he hasn't even been on campus yet. He's coming in there in the summertime. He's there now. Mm-hmm. This guy's a 5-star. He's unbelievable. But the one they've had, Hayes, the guy that's been there during the summer and everybody's going nuts about, he's there. Mm-hmm. And they've got 3 that were unbelievable last year. They got banged up. But Michigan's got 2 really good ones coming back. I get why they're doing it, but top to bottom, I like to see that.
Right now, I'd be Michigan. And the only reason is because Gibbs was the primary back, and he's not returning.
Their second one's good, too.
McClellan's very good, but he hasn't shown, so if I'm having to do this preseason, there's no way I put them over Michigan. And quite frankly, you got to throw Ohio State in the mix, too.
That running back they've got good.
Both of them are good, and both were injured last year. So I get that one.
I'm just saying top to bottom, I would go with Bama, but I know why they went Michigan.
I would definitely go Michigan, though.
Number 4, they got 4 classes, breaking it down 4 ways. The offensive line, Michigan. Okay, they run the ball well. They're physical. They did what they did to Ohio State. I do agree with this one. Defensive line, Georgia.
Yep.
I do anything with Georgia. I agree.
Florida State's going to be pretty darn good on that defensive line too now,
and they're deep. They're deep. Secondary, Georgia.
As a whole secondary, I would agree. I like Alabama's corners. They got a lot to replace at safety.
Mm-hmm.
But
I
wasn't sure how they were going to split that up. But that makes sense. As a full secondary, I get that.
The big kid from Alabama, Birmingham, they really wanted, they got.
Yeah.
He's sick. He's a big safety.
But when you lose 2, top 3 round draft picks at safety, I get it.
Now, this one surprised me.
I like the corners, though.
I kind of thought maybe LSU, maybe Georgia. I was surprised at this one, but I guess it's maybe inside. It says linebackers. I was looking at LSU, but they go Clemson. They always have good inside linebackers, but they didn't just say inside. They just go linebackers.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's so hard because depending on your formation, everything could be a linebacker.
They screwed it up. I get what they did now because they go linebackers later, and it is LSU. So inside linebackers went to Clemson.
Okay.
Yeah. Running, wow. They did another group of running backs, and that went to Penn State. Linebackers, outside linebackers, LSU. Quarterback, the second. These are second ones. They gave Texas a second quarterback room instead of they got USC number 1. They gave Texas second.
That's arch hype. I'll tell you a good quarterback room that's not getting a whole lot of talk. Ole Miss's quarterback room is deep.
Yeah.
Let's go CFO Arch. Manning kid's going to beat out.
I don't think you will.
Oh.
And Georgia's
playing after the season.
I honestly heard there's another kid from that state was better. Just didn't have the name. I don't know if that's true or not. We'll find out. We'll find out.
He's not starting this year, by the way.
No, they got the kid back. The second best receiver group, they say, is Washington.
Wow.
That's hard for me to believe.
Well,
Maybe
it could
should be in there.
I mean, it could be. I mean,
FSU's got some players now.
I mean, Penix went up there last year and had great numbers, so he's obviously getting the ball to him.
And safeties. They didn't say corners. They just said safeties.
I don't get that one.
Miami.
Yeah.
I don't either. What do they
Is
know?
that because they're having to make so many tackles because no defensive linemen or linebackers are making them?
I doubt they didn't have them last year.
All right, let's get back to Bama. There's one player I want to talk about. Tyler Booker, unbelievable football player, coming out of high school. He's unreal. Let's talk about him. 6'5", 335 pounds, 30 knockdowns. Knocked somebody off their feet, put them on the ground 30 times on 420 snaps as a true freshman. Wow. Blocked for the fourth best scoring offense in the nation, and that's Alabama. Elite size, this is what they say about him. Elite size, athleticism, exceptional run blocker, elite pass blocker, very physical football player, weakness, none. Was one of the best, if not the best, offensive lineman in the class of 2022. Played at IGM Academy. I forgot about that. And he played with another former Bama player also. 5-star, freshman all-SEC team, freshman all-American football team. Played in all 12 games. He also played right and left offensive tackle. Played in 12 games, started the Sugar Bowl at left offensive tackle. That's the side you want. That's your blind side. Bench press, they say about 500, but it's summer official 475, but they've done 500 before. This guy coming out of high school kept hearing about him, and he looked like a grown man coming out there. And I forgot during the games he was a freshman. I really did. This guy, now he's not even big as the Georgia kids. The Georgia kids are 6'8", 345. He's 6'5", 335.
It's going to be interesting when they play Georgia. If they play them.
I hope they do play him. Let's hope they do. But they go on about it. The coaches love him. Good attitude, great work ethic, really hard work in the weight room. Everything he does, he wants to be a champion at. That's one good thing. He will be a first-round draft pick. And somebody told me up there that he's not their best offensive lineman. Forgive me, I forgot the guy's name. I got it written down. I got to go back. And I should know it, but this other kid that you would know if I said his name, they think he's better. So Alabama's offensive line should be good. You might see them run the ball more this year, kind of throw the ball. We'll see.
I've heard that for 3 years, and they've been sorry for 3 years.
Well, we got a new coach.
We got to develop them.
Yeah. I take that back. They brought him in from Kentucky. He's just his second year, so we'll see if it pays off this year or not. Recruiting, we picked up a big offensive lineman from the state of Texas yesterday, I believe. They had 3 commits pretty quickly. You got to remember now with him, you've got to come on campus and go through it before he officially offers you a scholarship. He's always been that way. But people forget, it hurts you when you change coaches all the time. You lost a coordinator on both sides of the ball. You lost some other position coaches. Deion got one of the DB coaches up there with him. The guy used to be at Florida State. So those coaches have to come into these high schools, that the areas they recruit, and develop a relationship with those coaches. They come in there. The other schools, they've been recruiting that area for a long period of time. Like Mickey used to recruit the Panhandle for years. So everybody knew Mickey. When a new coach would come in, you had to get to know them. When they walk in the door, you really don't know who they are. And so you got to develop those relationships. So their recruiting's not down. It's just a little bit going slower than normal. Last year, they had the number one recruiting class in the country. Right now, they're not up there like they normally are. Florida's ahead of them. Georgia's doing unbelievable. Ohio State's doing well. So we'll see how it plays out as we go forward. The good news is we only have like 11 to 14 commitments. So we've got 10, 11 more to go.
They always, that last part, they always come
and the level of player they've got committing to them is elite players. So they're going to be in good shape. As long as Daniel Bush is their recruiting coordinator, we're going to be in pretty good shape at Alabama. Tommy, what do you think? A lot of people think this is a rebuilding year for Alabama. Question mark at quarterback. Some people think this will be the first year they lose 3 games in a regular season. I think Brian's one of them. What do you think? And I'll be honest with you, the schedule's tough. One good thing, they got the 3 toughest games at home.
I think they might lose 2 games.
During the regular season? Or
yeah.
During the regular season, okay.
2 games, maybe.
Is it time that we make a change if that happens 2 years in a row?
Yeah, I guess Coach Saban he's getting old. They probably need to get
got to put him down. Take him to the vet, put him down. You lose 2 at Alabama this year, they probably will put him down. No, he's got it rolling. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Anyway, your Alabama Updates have been brought to you by Stevenson Air Conditioning. Really appreciate Jason. If you've never dealt with them and you're ready to buy a brand new system, they come in, they talk to you, and they tell you exactly what you need. They don't oversell. Matter of fact, he saved me money. He's one of the most honest guys I know. Stevenson Air Conditioning, #1, not even close. J. Michael's Restaurant, get out there and have the best seafood. Cole's Beer. I'm waiting to fry the Chris Fish. I love it. It's unbelievable. Dr. Chad Mitchell, 24 years, Bay County Sidelines. El Rodeo, Tequila Bar and Grill. Love them. South Oak Title and Closing for all your real estate needs. We get back. We got the Auburn Tigers. What's going on down in beautiful Plains? We'll be right back. ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents The Blast at Bay Point. Listen to Win Your Tea Time at the legendary Bay Point Golf Club in beautiful Panama City Beach.
You ready to play some high-low?
I'm gonna try.
Listen weekdays at 8:40, 12:40, and 5:40 to play high-low for a chance to win 18 holes at Bay Point Golf Club.
I tell you what, you're going to enjoy it. You're going to love it.
Listen to Win the Blast at Bay Point from ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Likely thunderstorms and partly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a high near 85 and a wind between 10 to 15 miles per hour. A chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with likely thunderstorms. Very warm with a high around 85 and a variety of some clouds and likely thunderstorms Saturday. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you ready for Panama City's best pizza? Then check out the new Guru's Pizza 786. They don't do just pizza. They also serve wings, pasta, calzones, salads, sandwiches, and more. Guru's Pizza 786 has 50 plus Indian and Italian pizza varieties. They're open Monday through Thursday until midnight, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until 3 a.m. Takeout and delivery are available. Guru's Pizza 786, 7806 Front Beach Road. Call 850-588-5055. Better quality and better taste.
The Venture X card from Capital One gives you premium travel benefits, perfect for seeing Taylor Swift The Eras Tour. Presented by Capital One. Oh, I do love her. Earn 5 times miles on flights and 10 times miles on hotels through Capital One Travel.
Enjoy your stay in Suite 13.
Whoa, 13? That's Taylor's lucky number. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents The Blast at Bay Point.
You ready to play some high-low?
Keep listening to win.
I'm gonna try.
The Blast at Bay Point on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Oh, yeah.
What? Hey. Martha, Kenny, James. I apologize. I just read something. I'm very upset about something. You can't read. There was a question on Facebook. Somebody asked a question. Give me some suggestions. Is it worth, or you ever, matter of fact, it was Beth Moley. Should we buy a white couch? Give us your input on that.
Negative.
Yeah, well, listen to what my daughter writes.
By the way, never send anything to Coach you don't want read on the air.
I just saw this. She goes, never able to have a white couch growing up because of my dad. He couldn't even have white underwear.
That was a swift kick to the teeth.
Yeah, I'm like...
Are you taking back the happy birthday from earlier?
Yeah, I'm taking back the gift, too. Thank you, Jamie. Unbelievable. Anyway, Auburn, get back to Auburn. I tell you what, man, they pumped up in the Plains. Hugh Freeze got everybody pumped up, waiting for media days to see what happens up there. He'll knock it out of the ballpark. Good speaker from the Harvard of the South, Southern Mississippi graduate, will do a great job. Auburn Updates brought to you by RobotMD.com. Get online, look it up. This is the future. It's here in Bay County now. thanks to Dr. Chad Mitchell. Tommy, they're going to use robots to do all this kind of surgeries and stuff. Less chance of mistakes. Recovery time's quicker. Get the athlete back in the field. Get these old people like you back walking, talking.
Artificial intelligence is a key investment today.
There you go. I'm telling you, man.
All companies doing it.
It's all fun and games till the Terminator shows up. I'm just saying. That was a documentary.
Oh, my God. Anyway, look it up, man. I want you all to look it up and read up on that. That's pretty cool. All right, let's get into Auburn. What's going on? Bryce Kane. I tell you what, brother, this is a good football player. He earns his 4-star. The exact same thing. They go to all these different camps. Everybody gets to see the competition. Then they evaluate. They watch more tape. They evaluate. And they change it up all the time. And we talked about the quarterbacks being changed up. Now, this kid has now gone to a 4-star. It was only a matter of time that Kane exploded to the top in the recruiting cycles. Everybody's talking about him. Really good football player. He has now got his 4-star. He says he's blessed to receive his 4-star. No, all gas, no brakes. What's that mean? All gas, no brakes. That means he's going to keep on working. He ain't slowing down. It's only going to get better. He's excited about going to Auburn. He goes, War Eagle. He's going to be good. Committed to Auburn on June 13th. He stayed with him so far. A lot of people have come on trying to get him trying to change his mind. He's going to stay Auburn Tiger so far. But like you pointed out a minute ago, Tommy, you never know.
That's right.
You never know.
Never know.
The update players' rankings over the summer have occurred, and that's the reason he did it. This kid is a 100 now ranked the 187th best football player in the country. 187th best player in the country. Big pickup for the Auburn Tigers. 5'11", 170-pound wide receiver. They say he's an elite wide receiver. He's elite at running routes and catching the football. Really good football player. So congratulations for Auburn. Hugh Freeze is knocking out of the ballpark in recruiting. They did a great job getting transfers coming in. It's scary when Auburn's all on the same page. When Yellowwood and all of them, the bankers, are all together and happy, and everybody's pulling in one direction, Auburn's an elite football job. He's going to get that thing rolling, Auburn. I do believe that. He runs, Tommy's got to run. They clocked him at a 4.40. And they say when they go the deep ball, 50-50 passes, he makes the plays. That's good. 50-50 play, you make the ball play, you're going to win a lot of football games. So great pickup for the Auburn Tigers. Happy for the young man. Now, this is something I do want to talk about. This is a guy that I've met him. I thought he was unbelievable. I heard great things about him when he coached at the University of Alabama. And I'm talking about the legendary Pat Dye, the head football coach at Auburn. Auburn University accepts 415-acre gift home site of legendary head football coach Pat Dye. Remember, it was up for sale and everything? They get together. It's a Crooked Oaks farm. Chad actually went there. Dr. Chad Mitchell went there, went hunting. Coach Dye would have groups come in, stay there. They'd go out hunting. They'd fish. They'd do all these different things. He would tell stories. They'd sit around, eat. Unbelievable. Well, it's a beautiful farm. Pat Dye It's got a main house, it's got the guest cabins, got the lodge, got the pavilion. There are 2 barns on the property. Pat Dye, as we all know, was a legendary head football coach at Auburn. He also, the first time I saw him, he was the head football coach at East Carolina. They ran the Wishbone at East Carolina. We were not very good in 1976. That was my freshman year. We go play at East Carolina. They physically about killed us. The score was, I think, 35-6. They destroyed us. That was one of the best coach teams I've seen. The players did the little things right. You talking about coming low and hard and fighting every play? They did it. That was coaching. He got it out of them. From there, he leaves. He goes to Wyoming. Bud Casey calls coach and says, "Hey, I want to work for you at Auburn." He said, "Bud, I ain't got the job at Auburn." And Bud Casey said, "Coach, you're going to be the next coach at Auburn. I'm telling you." I said, "Bud, they in Auburn. I don't know. They want Dooley. I don't know what's going to happen." He said, "Coach, I'm telling you." Bud knew a lot of people. He knew where the gossip. He knew there's talk was going on. And Bud was wanting to get a job at Auburn. So he told him that. And sure enough, Pat Dye winds up getting the job at Auburn. Coach Bryant called him too. Before it all went down, called him. Before he officially got Auburn, called him and said, "You ain't going to Auburn." I said, "What is all this BS?" And he didn't say BS. He said, "Well, Coach, I got a shot, it looks like." He goes, "You don't want that job. I'm not going to be here very much longer." He said, "Coach, you're going to be as long as you want. You ain't going nowhere. And so, as a matter of fact, I had an Alabama guy, and he goes, I'm telling you. And then finally, they kept going back and forth like that. And Coach Dye said, fine, Coach Bryant goes, you ain't going to Auburn. He goes, Coach, if I get offered that job, I am going to Auburn. Now, Bud told me this. Bud told me what this got that conversation going, how it went. But sure enough, he got offered the job at Auburn. Bud did get hired as running back coach, and the rest is history. What he did at Auburn turned it around. But timing was great. The timing was great. Coach Bryant was old. In the last Iron Bowl, they went against each other. Alabama really played a great game in that game. They had 5 turnovers, and they lost the game. Bo over the top. They win it, and then Coach Dye dominated for the next, 10 years. And they did a really great job in the SEC. But this is a big, nice gift. His son talked about it. Now, Coach Dye's record, I wish he had one more year. And we all know at the end it kind of went crazy. Everything that happened, got in trouble with the NCAA and all that kind of stuff. But he made a comment that they're going to drag me out here in a box because I ain't leaving as the AD and coach. But sooner or later, he gave in and he had to get out of there. But he wound up with 99 wins. I wish he'd have got one more year to get over the 100. But he was 99, 39-4. The program was terrible before he got there. Barfield was the coach there, I think, 4 or 5 years. He came out in all orange. And next week, I think they fired him. I know they fired him that year. So he had to rebuild it from the scratch. He built it just like Bama. He built it better. They ran the wishbone, did an incredible job. How many years? I think it was 12 years, 11, 12 years he was the head football coach there at Auburn.
12, yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah. But he did it unbelievable. Now, the property started being developed back in 1998. He bought it, then he bought more land, then he started adding to it and things like that. Then he did those things, the hunting like we talked about earlier, and now it's absolutely beautiful down there. They got ponds, they got pastures, the woodland. The wood on it's worth money for sure. They got walking path. It's pretty cool. And one thing about Coach Dye did also, which I love dogs. I love dogs. They would take dogs, stray dogs, pound dogs. He'd do that. He did the same thing with cows, cats, donkeys, and horses. Donkeys and horses. So if somebody needed someplace to live and it was an animal, they could come to his place. That's pretty cool. Bottom line, Pat Jr., he said, giving everything Auburn's given our family, my dad, I know he'd be looking down and be extremely pleased with what we're doing right now for them giving the property to Auburn. So this is I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty outstanding. What do you think about that story? I thought it was pretty neat.
I think it's great. I'm getting texts from listeners, though, saying that they're about to puke, that this has turned into the entire Alabama school sports show.
Thank you, Michigan Eddie.
How did you know?
I know it because he's texting. Because I don't respond to him. If it's not Michigan,
think of the educational value of that property.
Oh no!
Turn your phone off.
No doubt.
All the things you can do there. And they're going to take advantage of that, from what I understand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they could continue what he's doing right now. Have alumni go out there, take care of people, have groups. But how many people that give away something that's worth that much money to a university?
Not many.
I love what his son said, though. Everything Auburn's given to my dad and our family.
Sure.
And they were good. And you remember when we went through their proms there, he still was on the payroll.
Oh, yeah.
He still was a big part. He still ran.
Yeah, my buddies up there would see him on campus a lot.
Yeah. And he loved Auburn. I used to enjoy him and Fine Bob getting into it on the radio show. I mean, you get Coach Dye mad, he could say some things that were pretty good. But he knew it, man. He talking about knowing college football. And I will say this, if you played at Auburn when he was there, you're a man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he didn't have boys around him. You had to be a man to play at Auburn when he was there. Unbelievable. All right, we get back. We got a couple things I want to get over. The most meaningful football games, they got that. But I want to get I'll give you a little tip when we get back. Who is the third best coach in college football right now? And I want you to give me your top 5, but who's number 3? Everybody out there says who number 1 and number 2 is. And they're at Alabama and Georgia. And dang sure ain't Michigan. Okay? You got to actually win a playoff game. You actually got to win a bowl game.
We actually just got a text, and it's somebody said the Michigan Wolverines head coach, Jim Harbaugh. I don't know.
Again. Well, that's okay. That's an opinion.
Harbaugh's TCU's favorite coach. That'll get me another text.
Oh, Lord. No, that was actually pretty correct, by the way.
I'm telling you what, you better keep your eyes on Jeff Brom at Louisville.
As long as he got Mark Ivy with him, that defense is going to be good. And you see his recruiting. How does Louisville get the number one player in the country?
If you go back to some of their,
we're talking football.
If you go back to some of the issues with their basketball recruiting, I might have some ideas.
Watch out.
Basketball needs a little help.
Yeah, since they stopped the little dancer parties.
Are you giving NIL money to them?
Who, me?
You?
No. They don't. I tried. I text Coach Brom and I said, "What do you need?" He goes, "I'm good."
Well, I'll tell you what.
They said they wanted the zeros on the other side of the decimal.
Have you kept up?
The problem.
Have you kept up with the recruiting? They're doing good.
Of course. I know.
They're doing good. I tell you. And that's my boy, Mark's. I guarantee you, Mark's. They're the ones that are getting down in Florida. I know that's Mark.
Well, Jeff and I are good friends. We text often. So
does he talk good about Mark?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, Mark's a positive guy. I think what really sealed the deal for him was the fact that the job that him and Deion Sanders did in that bowl game. Yeah, that was impressive.
Yeah, the kids loved, man. I knew Mark was going to be a great one.
Yep.
All right, let's talk about some of our great people. Again, the Auburn Update brought to you by Robot.com. I really encourage, I'm not kidding, you need to look it up and go online, look it up. It's really good. That's what's coming. That's the future, and Chad's on top of that right now. All right, let's talk about some of our other great people. Paparazzi Gourmet Deli. Patrick, love you down at Perf Pro Pest Control, Turf Pro Pest Control, and also don't forget about
Seven.
Don't forget about Beefo Brazen and Lynn David. We'll be right back. 104. Oh, wait a minute. Get ready to call 215-6290-840. Be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Blasted Bay Point.
How many gourmet potatoes with tasty toppings did the break room on Joan Ave serve last weekend? What do you got?
I'm going to go with 94.
Ooh, David, what do we got?
That is too low.
Oh, man, it's really getting narrowed down.
It sure is.
Keep listening to Win the Blasted Bay Point on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Santa called and he asked me to help everyone get ready for Christmas and avoid the stress and rush. So we've stocked the store and slashed the prices. All sterling silver jewelry is 25% off. All silver chains, pendants, earrings, bracelets, and rings. Also, our entire stock of Boulevard watches, 20% off. And we are offering free 6 months layaway. Tracy's Fine Jewelry takes the stress out of the holidays. So shop now where Santa shops during our Christmas and July sale at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Sykes Concrete has been in business in this area since 1947, and 3 generations later, they're still going strong. See Sykes Concrete for dirt, sand, rock, and concrete. They can handle any size job from the smallest to the largest. Sykes Concrete pays CDL truck drivers some of the highest wages in Bay County, making $50,000 to $75,000 a year, including holiday and vacation pay, plus health insurance. See Hugh Sykes at Sykes Concrete, 8030 Highway 77 on the right, just north of Southport Elementary School.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports, and can always be reached at instantReplaySportsCards.com.
Give him a call. Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local. From the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And welcome back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We got a caller.
Yeah, some guy, he's an Alabama fan, wanted to ask you.
Oh, good. Thank God. Let's take this caller. Good morning.
Go Blue Tracy, Asia Ramsey, back to know. I am the people's caller. The show formerly known as the Coach James Hale Show is now the Alabama Sports Show. You know your audience, Coach. You got a lot of transplants and military that don't give a dang about War Eagle or Roll Dang Tide. Just saying.
Go Bulldogs.
Yeah, just trying to convert them.
Did you not listen? What time did you wake up?
We're never convert, baby. Never. Don't care how bad things get. I'll never root for the Tide or that school from Auburn, Alabama. No way. I'd rather root for Southern Miss.
Hey, it's good to talk to you, Miss Ye. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. Getting ready to go to work and then heading down to Orlando. My son's playing right now, and little Eddie's playing in the Perfect Game World Series, 13U down at Boomba.
All right.
So actually, I'm talking to you and watching their game.
Well, help us out.
They have an 8 o'clock game.
Help us out.
Yeah.
We all know.
Number 3 is Dabo Sweeney.
All right, explain why.
Because he's won a championship. You can't be one of the top coaches in the top 3 unless you won a chip. If Harbaugh would have won a chip, he would be number 3, only because Nick Saban and Kirby Smart have won multiples. And the toss between Kirby and Dabo, because they've both been good for a while, and I think they both have the same amount of titles too, if I'm not mistaken. So that's why I have Dabo 3, and they're rebuilding and they're doing pretty good. That's it.
Did you see my Facebook that I shared? Did you see what I did? There was
I'm suspended on Facebook.
I'm talking. There's a picture of a coach, but they take, and he's got his coach uniform and a little bitty kid coaching his youth league baseball. Was the little kids on third base. And they cut out the picture of the man, the coach, and they put in Harbaugh's face. And on third base, the little kid is Coach Day on third base. I thought that was awesome, man. I love it. Okay, Michigan A, let's get these other two's
old,
opinion.
Man. That's old news, dude.
Tommy,
that happened a long time ago.
Tommy, who do you have as number 3 best coach?
Sweeney.
Dabo? Mm-hmm. For the same reason Eddie said?
Same reason, right, exactly.
It depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking at resume, it's got to be Dabo because he's got 2 championships. If you're looking at who I'd hire today, I've got a little pause on Dabo because he has not adapted to the portal well. Mm-hmm. And that's a huge part of things now. Now, maybe he's got that turned around or so. You have to look at Brian Kelly. You have to look at Harbaugh. But the one for me, and this year's going to tell me, but the guy who I always thought did the best pure coaching job out there is Luke Fickell.
Amen.
And now we're going to find out at Wisconsin because it's different now. But if he can go in there and have real marked improvement and have them competitive, I think you got to look at him in that thing. I think Dabo's a good pick, certainly based on the resume, but, Jimbo's won a championship too, and I don't think any of us would consider him number 3.
Oh, we got the top 3.
Way. And by the way, what's Luke Fickell's record against Michigan, by the way, Brian? Just saying.
Oh, at Cincinnati? I'm sure it's terrible.
Yeah, where is he coaching?
No, when he was interim at the school in Columbus.
Well, look, interim's one thing. I mean, that was not something he was thrown into that deal.
Goes on his.
I understand,
record, doesn't it?
I understand, but wouldn't you agree that he's a significantly better coach now than he was then?
Well, he coached at Cincinnati, and the level of competition wasn't the best in the American.
But he's made the playoffs as many times as Michigan has.
He did what he had to do at Cincinnati. Now the competition is ramped up.
No, I agree.
Only time will tell.
Yeah.
All right, we got the top 3: Saban, Kirby, and then Dabo. All right, who's number 4? Who's number 4? And let's don't let him. Let somebody else.
No, let Eddie go.
I don't want to hear Michigan. Good God. We all know it can't be Harbaugh. He's not very good. It's either got to be Kelly or what about our guy at USC? His record's unbelievable. His record's unbelievable. If you're going to go by resume, his record's unbelievable.
His defense is terrible. How can you say Lincoln Riley's the top 5 coaches? He goes to the playoffs and pukes and plays in a weak Big 12 and a weak Pac-10. That's insane.
Lincoln Riley is the best offensive coordinator in the United States.
Who would you put?
That's it.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Number 4, who would you put?
Between Kelly and Riley, I'd say Kelly.
I'd go Kelly. Mm-hmm. I'd go Kelly. I think Kelly's a great coach. Wherever he's been, he's won big time. And he started off those smaller schools, and everywhere he's organized. They work hard. Look what he did year 1 at LSU. It was a mess, and he got in there and got it cranked up. And I think they got a chance to be special this year. He's definitely better than Harbaugh. Not even close.
You're passing over a guy who's an active coach who's your coach. You're forgetting about Mac.
Oh, my God, yes.
Mac Brown?
Mac Brown.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't say he's as sharp
up
now
there.
as he was.
He's the second winningest coach, and maybe has he got more than Saban? He's either one or two right now. Active coach with wins.
He has a tendency to lose the game he's not supposed to.
That's true.
Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. All right, Miss K, seriously, I'm not kidding with you. Who do you think's number 4?
I have Harbaugh for the same reason you said Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
And Harbaugh's on the upswing. His recruiting classes are better, and I think he just may have some bonehead calls by his co-offensive coordinators in that playoff game that never should have happened. And hopefully now they just have one offensive coordinator. But number 4 is Harbaugh. He's on the upswing.
And really, I've been messing with you. Harbaugh and his brother, his whole family, all they do is coach. And he did a great job in the NFL. He did a great job in the Pac-12 when he was out there. He's built Michigan up. He's done it, and they're recruiting right now pretty doggone good. I got to give him credit because I at first I thought that it wasn't going to work out, and they stayed with him. You got to give him credit. They stayed with him, and look what he's doing now.
Did.
He's doing a good job.
Indeed.
But talk about Brian Kelly. What do you think about Brian Kelly? Because I really think he's a great coach. I really do.
Well, he started off at Grand Valley in Allendale, Michigan, right outside Grand Rapids, and then he goes to Central, then he goes to Cincy, then he goes to Notre Dame, then LSU, right? He has been a winner everywhere he goes. But his demeanor, his character is just red face, drives me nuts. And then he's trying to be a Cajun when he goes to LSU, and be who you are. Don't be fake, man. I just don't trust the guy. Yeah, he wins, and I don't blame him for the Notre Dame accident when that kid got killed on that wind tower, on that tower and all that. I don't blame him for that. I will not want my son playing ball for him. I wouldn't.
Yeah. All right, I want to ask you real quick. I do. I'm with Brian. Lou Fickell to me is as good as anybody in the country. But you're not that high on him?
No, I am high on Luke Fickell, and I was just joking with Brian about the record versus Michigan and all that. And what he did at Cincinnati was something that Tommy Tuberville couldn't even do at Cincinnati. And that's something to be said. And I'll tell you one thing, Luke Fickell is a great Christian man, a great family man. And I'll tell you one thing, one of Eddie's quarterback buddies was actually at Cincinnati's camp, and they're following him on Twitter and all that. Great dude, and I'll tell you, I hope Eddie's buddy or Eddie gets recruited by Fickell because he's a great overall human being and coach and cares for his players. High character guy, gets results. Definitely.
Hey,
and Madison's a great college town.
If you get a chance, call us back a little bit. We got to go because we got to do that high-low game. But thanks for calling. I appreciate it, man. Give us a call a little bit if you can. All right, buddy. Hey, roll tide. All right, we get back. Get the phones out. Start calling. We got him off the phone, so you can call us now. 215-6290. You want a free round of golf or a nice prize, give us a call. We're going to do it to you right here on the ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back. Call right now.
Hit that liner.
ESPN Northwest Florida is already your home for the most live and local sports talk. And now we're taking...
Oh, he got all of that one.
The Inside Drive. Ryan Mulvey, middays, 11 to 1 inside the Bill Kramer Chevrolet Buick GMC and Kramer Marine Outdoor Studios. The latest reactions to the biggest stories happening right now. Plus, interviews, sports betting, and your calls.
You got to be pleased with that.
On ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good morning. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Thursday's weather forecast. Likely thunderstorms and partly cloudy this afternoon and evening with a high near 85 and a wind between 10 to 15 miles per hour. A chance of thunderstorms and partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze and a temperature of 81. About the same tomorrow, around 85 with likely thunderstorms. Very warm with a high around 85 and a variety of some clouds and likely thunderstorms Saturday. This forecast is brought to you by Ellis Agency Insurance. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
You know the break room for the best pool tables in Bay County. But did you know they now serve delicious food? Check out the break room's daily lunch and dinner specials like spaghetti and meatballs, meatloaf with mashed potatoes, air-fried chicken, and more. Plus the best burgers, hot dogs, and you gotta try the Sammy of the day. The break room on Panama City Beach at the corner of Joan Avenue and North Lagoon. For more information, check them out on Facebook.
Chef Ross here. We're open daily at 11 at the break room.
He doesn't always go the extra mile. But when he does, it's because he missed the exit. It's the Coach James Hale Show. Live and local inside the J. Michaels studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, well, let's hit the phones, and we've got Glenn on the phone. Glenn, are you ready to play high-low?
I'm ready.
All right. You know what the clue is, right? You've heard over the last couple of days, so give it a shot and give us your guess on what that number is.
I'm going to say 178.
Let's see.
That is too high.
Too high.
Okay.
All right, hold on the line, Glenn. We'll get your information, and we'll get you set up with a bucket of balls from Bay Point, all right?
Thank you.
All right.
Brother, thank you for playing. You got another chance today, Ryan Mulvey. He got a great show, 11 to 1.
12:40, he'll do it.
What time?
12:40.
12:40, and David's doing it 5:40. 5:40, David's doing it. So you got two more opportunities to win it, and we're gonna give you away something if you don't win it. So anyway, thanks for calling, Glenn. You know, you were talking about Bay High School. They got the Fred Roselle Award that they had won, and Brian asked if we had mentioned it yesterday. Yes, you got to remember Glenn Manley was on the show yesterday. We spent 15 minutes talking to Glenn about the day he was born, how he was born, the experience he had being born. He went into detail about all of it.
Well, I mean, you didn't need me on Wednesday, so I went into silent protest and didn't listen in. So.
Anyway, no, Glenn does a good job. I miss him.
But congrats to Bay High. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that is. That's a good award.
Yeah.
Now, we were talking off the air. We talked about the best coaches, and I guess we came up with it. Y'all didn't want to give the boy at USC any love at all. Y'all saying not in the top 5.
Lincoln Riley, I had him down.
Tommy I think he's the best offensive coordinator in the country. I think he's about the 10th best head coach.
But if he wins the national championship, will that change your opinion?
It'll help.
Okay.
He ain't going to do it, though. I mean, if I win the national championship, I'll be a good coach, too.
Now, you got that right. All right, let's talk about some of the guys that we hadn't really thought about that are really good coaches that maybe could be mentioned, some of the best coaches in college. And they don't have to be in the SEC. They don't have to be in the ACC. Brian, you came up with one that I thought was outstanding.
You want to talk about a guy who I didn't think would do anything and has outkicked his coverage at twice. Shane Beamer has done more with less than probably anybody in the United States.
Yeah.
I have been so impressed with what he's done. He's done it two completely different ways. I mean, he had a guy who was going to coach for him was his quarterback the first year. I mean, that's insane. The first year developed a good team atmosphere. The second year he goes out and gets some talent and actually gets them all to mesh really well together, plugs them in, has another great year. They ran out of fireworks against Tennessee. They scored so much. So I've been extremely impressed with what he's done.
And we mentioned Whittingham over at Utah.
Kyle Whittingham at Utah doesn't get nearly enough credit for what he's done.
I think they've been in 2 Rose Bowls last couple of years.
Yeah, he's done it over an extended period of time. So I'm very impressed. I mean, how hard must it be to recruit? I mean, look, nothing against the state of Utah, but how hard must it be to recruit to the state of Utah?
Yeah. All right, what about Tulane's coach? He got him to the Cotton Bowl. Who is
Fritz?
It? Yeah, that's a heck of a job he did there.
Yeah, went from 2-10 to 10-2.
Yeah,
and beat USC in a bowl game.
And that's at Tulane. Tulane.
Right,
that's crazy.
Right.
What about your boy at Florida State?
Normal. Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
I wouldn't have him in the top 5, though.
No.
But he's in the top 10?
Right now, present day, yeah. We'll see what happens. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens because you got some talent this year.
Yeah.
But look, we've all coached, and we understand, you may not have the resume, you may not have the rings and all, but coaches know people who can coach.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these good up-and-coming guys like that, they can really coach. I mean, it's doing the most with what you got. And, that doesn't always translate to the masses. But some of these guys are just some phenomenal football coaches in their ability. They just got to be able to find that situation or build that situation that takes them over the line to be a true championship. And that's in no way to demean Nick Saban or Kirby Smart and all, because I still think they are every bit as good as anybody who I think does a lot with a little.
Yeah. But you got anybody we hadn't thought about?
Well, I was just going to say that, in football, college football, the paramount is national championship.
Yeah.
To win a national championship, good Lord.
Yeah.
That is super, super tough. I mean, it's very difficult to do it. But anyway, Coach Norville, I think when you look at what players and recruits say about them, what kind of credit can you? Everybody, I have never heard of any recruit that's gone to FSU that's not said really great things about Coach Norville, about how he practices. Everything is detail. He gets after them. He demands excellence in every single practice. So I think the time will tell whether he's going to be one of those great coaches. But I mean, look at what he did at Memphis, and he's come down here at FSU, and I think he's going to be good.
I think it's a critical year for him.
I do too.
I think he has to do something big. I do. I say it again. There's somebody in Colorado would love to be in Tallahassee.
Oh yeah.
I want to ask you this, Tommy. It's kind of off the radar a little bit, but I want your input on this. If I had 4 picks, and I could have the first 2, and I'm the SEC commissioner, the 2 teams I would take, and you'll probably disagree with me, would be North Carolina and Virginia.
Oh, okay.
The reason I say that, 2 new states, more TV, more money.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina basketball, big name. Football, not as much. Virginia, not that great, but it's just another state.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the other 2 I would take would be Clemson and Florida State. Everybody kind of mentions Miami. I don't want Miami. And Virginia Tech, maybe.
If they want to win in the SEC, they can take Virginia Tech. It's another good one to whoop up on.
But what do you think? I mean, you're an ACC guy. We're both SEC. You're ACC. What would you do?
FSU money wise, they'd be crazy not to go in the SEC.
No, I mean, but if you're the commissioner of SEC, who would you take?
Well, who would I take? If you want quality, I'd take FSU and Clemson.
That'd be your top 2.
Mm-hmm.
All right, who would be your other 2 or 3?
It sure wouldn't be Miami. Maybe North Carolina. Yeah, I like it because of the
another state. Of them. Yeah, Charlotte. Yeah,
and I don't know about Virginia or Virginia Tech. I mean,
would you go west? Would you go west?
Well, that would. The only problem with that, the travel deal with that.
Yeah.
I'd probably try to stick around the Atlantic coast, somewhere around there. But
you got any other name, any other team we hadn't talked about?
We're missing an obvious one. If you're willing to go to Virginia, so
West Virginia?
Region, no. I would start and end my conversation with Notre Dame. You want to talk about, you talk about bringing in another state. Notre Dame's a national brand.
Yeah.
I'd bring them in, and I'd love Alabama to whoop them every year.
I wonder if they would do it, though.
I don't know. But
do they need the money?
They've got their own deal, but the SEC may be a different option for them.
It'd be interesting to see. You're right.
But I would start with them.
I would like them in there.
From who I'd like to see in the football schedule, probably Clemson, Florida State.
Yeah. What I mentioned West.
I've always thought Louisville would be a great addition to the SEC.
But we already got Kentucky. You already got the state.
Well, great. You've got a built-in in-state rivalry.
What do you
think? Another nice market in Louisville.
Louisville's a little league. Louisville's a little school.
I don't think Florida.
Louisville doesn't need conversation.
It'll be funny when your mic stops working here.
I don't. Keep talking.
I hope Mark's not listening right now. Well,
I said I don't think Florida wants FSU in the SEC.
I'm going to tell you right now, there's a lot of schools don't want FSU in there, and they're all right near it. Right. What about you? Kind of turn your nose up on West Virginia. I know Nick wants them in there. What about West Virginia? Small state, don't get much out of it.
If you're willing to go that far out regionally, there are better options.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're certainly a better fit in the SEC than they are where they are now.
I agree with that.
That makes no sense to me.
That was dumb.
But now you got Central Florida is going to be in there with them also.
I say we bring Hawaii in so we can get that trip every other year, and we can have a reason to go to Hawaii. Or UNLV so I can go to Vegas. That'll be fine.
Hey, when I watched this interview, and it got hit up by Reggie Jackson, okay, has a show. He's an unbelievable baseball player for the Yankees, a legend. He shared Jamie's interview on the show. The kid starts at Thompson, the biggest school, one of the best schools in the country, as an 8th grader. They win the state championship.
That's crazy.
He's got more scholarship offers as an 8th grader. But this weird thing about it, he moved to Alabama from Hawaii.
Yeah.
He visited Thompson High School, saw these facilities, goes, but then again, he's best friends. Well, his daddy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got the Tagovailoa connection.
Yeah, his dad coached him. Tua's daddy coached him. So this is the next great kid from the West Coast coming up here to play. He'll probably be ranked the number 1 player in the country 4 years from now. And Alabama's have a good shot. I will say Alabama will have a pretty good shot at him. So, but I saw his highlights. The kid's unbelievable. They showed, on the interview, they showed him when he's real small playing these camps with all these other kids there. Pretty impressive.
I cannot get over the notion. This kid's an 8th grader. At the oldest, he's 14.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking 14 against 18. That is a massive difference.
Elite high school program.
And we're not talking about, like throwing cornhole bags. I mean, we're talking football.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
And to know, to be able to run those plays and know those plays. And
I'm amazed when sophomores start in high school.
And have the players to respect you as an 8th grader.
An 8th grader to have that arm strength to throw the ball. He's a good-sized kid, too, now. He's going to be – he's got to be. You're talking about a Heisman Trophy type player, first-round draft pick.
Look, the only thing less mature than an 18-year-old boy is a 14-year-old boy. But, I mean, just think about the maturity level in those 4 years. I mean,
well, that's what stood out when you sit there and they're in an interview, and you would think the guy's in college giving these answers. And it reminds you about the guy he hangs around with. A good Christian kid, unbelievable. Hey, this week 1 games here. I want to go in with you two right here because they don't turn me on at all, and they're actually going to be on TV. I want you two input on this. Are you guys going to watch? Of course, it depends on who else is playing. I know that, but Navy, Notre Dame, 10:30 kickoff ABC. I'm not excited about that whatsoever. I do like Navy. Notre Dame.
It's college football. I'll probably watch a little of it.
This one, UTEP, Jacksonville State, 2:30 on the CBS Sports Network. Actually, it's 1:30 kickoff.
I don't love college football that much.
I'm with you. Now, this one I will not watch. This one we probably should watch. UMass at New Mexico State, 3 o'clock kickoff on ESPN.
That's not even a good high school football game.
New Mexico State's favored by 8.5. That's probably 2 of the worst football teams playing each other in a whole year. Ohio versus San Diego State. And San Diego State's favored by 3.5. The kickoff time is 3 o'clock on Fox Sports Network. You going to watch that one?
I'd actually probably catch a few plays of that game.
I will not watch
I will not. Hawaii, and I will watch this one if nothing else going on. Hawaii versus Vandy. The game is at Vandy is actually 18.5-point favorite, and that kickoff of that was 3:30 on SEC Network.
What day?
They beat them last year.
What day?
Did
you just say Vandy's an 18.5-point favorite?
Oh, yeah, I know that.
I may be going to Biloxi today.
Yeah, USC, San Jose State. That kickoff's at 4 o'clock, and that's on the Pac-12 network. USC's favored by 30. All right, keep it right here all day long. Ryan Movie's got a great show, 11 to 1. Underdogs, 4 to 6. Feinbaum, the Mouth of the South, from 6 to 10. Just leave it right here on ESPN Northwest Florida all day long. Get out and visit all of our sponsors. That tell them when you go in there that you heard on our shows. They do a great job. Without them, we couldn't do what we do. Appreciate you listening. We'll be back tomorrow. Everybody have a good day. Tommy, next week I'll see you.
I won't. I'll be in Georgia.
Ain't going to be killing Bambi.
I'll be in Dahlonega and Helen, Georgia.
Now you getting ready to take another trip?
I'll be here next Thursday, but then I'm gone the one after that.
But you got some business to do today, right?
I'm heading to Huntsville.
Huntsville, go. Man, I tell you what, this swimming's all over the world. Unbelievable. All right, how much time we got, Randy?
About 30 seconds.
30 seconds. High-low, again. Let's give them a time.
12:40 today, and also at 5:40 this afternoon with the Afternoon Underdogs. And don't forget, ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for college football, and we're going to have more college football this year than we've ever had.
I love
so be ready for it.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just wall-to-wall this year.
And if you love baseball, you love the Atlanta Braves, what are you going to do?
Right here, ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the Braves.
We're out. 104.3 ESPN Northwest.
ESPN Northwest Florida, your home for Mike Greenberg.
Hey, Greenie, I made a graphic from the Aaron Rodgers Open of the show. If you want to